Before we discuss the events that transpired at the Great Council of 101 AC, maybe perhaps this would be a good place to talk about one of the key players in the council and in the years to come, Corlys of House Velaryon, Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark, known in song and story as the Sea Snake, and surely one of the most extraordinary figures of the age. House Velaryon, a noble house with a storied Valyrian lineage, the Velaryons had come to Westeros even before the Targaryens, if their family histories can be believed, settling in the gullet on the low-lying and fertile island of Driftmark, rather than its stony, smoking neighbour, Dragonstone. Though never dragon riders, the Velaryons had for centuries remained one of the oldest and closest allies of House Targaryen. The sea was their element, not the sky. During the conquest, it was the Velaryon ships that carried Aegon's soldiers across Blackwater Bay and later formed a greater part of the royal fleet. Throughout the first century of Targaryen rule, so many Lords of the Tide served on the small council as master of ships. The office was widely seen as hereditary. Yet, even with such forebearers, Corlys Velaryon was a man apart, a man as brilliant as he was restless, and adventurous as perhaps he was ambitious. It was traditional for the sons of House Velaryon to be given a taste of seafarer's life when young, but no Velaryon, before or since, ever took to shipboard life as eagerly as the boy who had become the Sea Snake. He first crossed the narrow sea at the age of 6, sailing to Pentos with an uncle. Thereafter, Corlys made such voyages every year. Nor did he travel as a passenger. He climbed the masts, tied knots, scrubbed decks, pulled oars, caulked leaks, raised and lowered the sails, manned the crow's nest, and learnt to navigate and steer. His captains said they'd never seen such a natural sailor. At the age of 16, he became a captain in his own right, taking a fishing boat called the Cod Queen from Driftmark to Dragonstone and back. In the years that followed, his ships grew larger and swifter, his voyages longer and more dangerous. He took ships to the bottom of Westeros, to visit Old Town, Lannisport and Lordsport on Pike. He sailed to Lys, Tyroche, Pentos and Myr. He took the Summer Maid to Volantis and the Summer Isles, and the Ice Wolf north to Bravos, Eastwatch by the sea, and Hardhome beyond the wall, before turning into the Shivering Sea for Lorath and the port of Ibn. On later voyages, he and the Ice Wolf headed north once more, searching for a rumoured passage around the top of Westeros, but finding only frozen seas and icebergs as big as mountains. His most famous voyage were those he made on the ship that he designed and built himself, the Sea Snake. Traders from Old Town and the Arbor often sailed as far as Qarth, in search of spice, silk and other treasures, but Corlys Velaryon and the Sea Snake were the first to go beyond, passing through the Jade Gates of Yeti and to the Isle of Lang, and returning with such a large load of silk and spice that he doubled the wealth of House Velaryon in a single stroke. On his second voyage in the Sea Snake, he sailed even further, to Asshai by the Shadow. On his third, he tried the Shivering Seas instead, becoming the first Westerosi to navigate the Thousand Islands and visit the bleak cold shores of Nagai and Mos Savoy. In the end, the Sea Snake made 9 voyages in total. On the last, Sir Corlys took her back to Qarth, laden with enough gold to buy 20 more ships, and load them all with saffron, pepper, nutmeg, elephants, and bolts of the finest silk. Only 14 of the fleet arrived safely at Driftmark, and all the elephants died at sea. Yet even so, the profits from that voyage were so vast that House Velaryon became the wealthiest house in the 7 kingdoms, eclipsing even the older houses of Hightower and the Lannisters of Casterly Rock, albeit briefly. This wealth Sir Corlys put to good use. When his aged grandfather died at the age of 88, and the Sea Snake became Lord of the Tides, the seat of House Velaryon was Castle Driftmark, a dark, grim place, always damp and often flooded. Lord Corlys raised a new castle on the far side of the island. High Tide was built of the same pale stone as the Eyrie, its slender towers crowned with roofs of beaten silver that flashed in the sunlight. When morning and evening tides rolled in, the castle was surrounded by the sea, connected to Driftmark proper only by a causeway. To this new castle, Lord Corlys moved the ancient Driftwood throne, a gift from the Merlin King according to legend. The Sea Snake built ships as well. The royal fleet tripled in size during the years he served the old king as master of ships. Even after giving up the office, he continued to build, turning out merchantmen and trading galleys in places of warships. Beneath the dark, salt-stained walls of Castle Driftmark, 3 modest fishing villages grew together in a thriving town called Hull, named for the rows of ship hulls that could always be seen below the castle. Across the island, near high tide, another village was transformed into Spice Town, its waivers and prices crowned with ships from all the 3 cities and beyond. Sitting athwart the gullet, Driftmark was closer to the narrow sea than Duskendale or King's Landing, so Spice Town soon began to usurp much of the shipping that would elsewise made for those ports, and House Velaryon grew even richer and more powerful, and put them in place as firm allies of House Targaryen.